Mayor Judge.
Here.
Commissioner Weeks. Absent. Commissioner Eichenmeyer. Here. Commissioner Gallagher. Absent. Commissioner Zimmerman.
Here.
All right. I need minutes approved for meeting held on July 12th, 2021. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Sure, I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. All right, so moved. Visitors, Kiwanis Downhill Derby. Mr. Turner.
All right, Kiwanis is requesting permission to shut, on August 7th from 8 a.m. to probably 1 o'clock, shut down the, Market Street from 3rd Street to Railroad Street for our downhill derby, on that Saturday. We'll need to set up in the morning and just like we did, I think it was, 2 years ago? So we just need permission to do that. Hopefully if someone has a card out there that can still register and come out and join us for a few hours of fun.
We dug the rotary car out of the garage and
I think Kiwanis is gonna have a car too. I don't know if Eric's gonna drive it or who's gonna be in it.
I
Yeah,
don't
it's a
believe that last time I saw it, that it would be weight capacity. I might exceed weight capacity. Height and weight.
And also, can I make sure the council has their microphone on? I'm sorry, I didn't
All
turn
right.
it on, but,
there we go.
so with your approval, that's what we'd like to do.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right.
Okay.
Do we have any other visitors tonight? Did you want?
I'd like to say,
Go ahead.
oh, thank you. That's amazing. I don't know your title anymore, Mr. Turner.
I'm sorry?
City?
City clerk,
City
yes.
Turner? That's amazing, great segue. I was going to request, similar, closing of Market Street just from 3rd till 5th, way in advance. I'm talking October 14th. But is it as simple as that? I can just request it?
Yes,
Okay, should I request it closer to the date?
I would say so. That'd be better.
Okay,
That way you can come back with a proposal on what you're doing and everything else and have everything ready to go.
gotcha, great.
That
Okay.
works.
Yeah, and the only other thing I had, this is just a point, I was asked about the budget, the city budget, I believe it was last meeting, sorry, I cut myself short.
Okay, no problem.
And it's online, which is great, it's a great website, so all seems very detailed. I'm not an accountant, so please correct me. The entire city budget, I believe, was a little north of 10 million?
Yes.
Okay, and out of that 10 million, we're paying patrolman salaries 550,000. Total budget for the police department is 1,293,250 without pension. Pension adds another 455,800. Now, I can do the math on all that. Clearly, that's a lot of money. Our total budget for parks is $1,904,225. And I'm sure there's a reason for this, and Mayor, I believe you tried to school me on this earlier. Under street budget, our budget for sidewalk repair is $0. And I don't know if you all walked our sidewalks, but they kind of look like Beirut. They're kind of a public disgrace, and they're very dangerous. You can't, my wife was in a wheelchair. I had to put her on the street. I have friends who are in strollers, they have to go on the street. They're gonna get hit and get killed. So I don't have really a question, well, actually I do have one question. A statement and one question. This report. The statement is that a budget is a moral document. The budget tells you where your priorities are. It's a moral document. My question is, with this much money, and maybe it's to you, Chief, does the police department work for the town, or does the town work for the police department? How does it work exactly?
We had 50 burglaries this weekend,
Okay,
okay? 50 burglaries to vehicles.
okay.
And that crime solved. I think that should answer your question right there. The police worked to solve those crimes.
Okay.
We brought in other resources on Sundays that typically aren't there, worked with a resident judge, worked with the state's attorney
Right.
to make our community safer. So I think that's where we're at, John.
Okay, and I'm not
But you are, sometimes,
Well, I'm sorry.
against the police.
No, sir. What I'm trying to do is, as I've said before, this is not new. I believe what this town's over-policed. It's as simple as that.
I strongly disagree with you.
I know you.
Because at most, at shift change, we might have 4 officers. And then that's for a very short time period, correct me if I'm wrong, Chief McWilliams. And then it goes down to 2. If we have one incident, one bad incident, those 2 officers will be completely covered up. And then either we have to rely on the Sheriff's Department, Illinois State Police, or we call extra officers back in. One incident. So like this past weekend, our officers were, swamped with things. They work very hard.
I'm not saying they don't.
Okay, but as far as over-policed for the size of our town, if you look at towns like Carmel or Alany, they're very similar. They have many more officers than we do.
Okay, I wasn't able to get on their website, so
Well,
I tried.
anyways,
Yeah.
in most other areas, Chief McWilliams and Mr. Turner both have served in the capacity of detective. Similar stations, police stations that we have to others have multiple detectives, lots of more overhead than we have even close to. So to being over-policed, I strongly disagree with you. And, we have very rarely been fully staffed to what the state of Illinois tells us we have to have. It's a rarity. If we were over-policed, we'd have 25 police officers, not the 13 we have.
No, we don't even have 13.
Okay.
We have nine patrolmen, a detective and a chief.
Okay.
To cover 24 hours.
9 patrolmen are making 550, are making over $500,000 a year.
That also includes your dispatch staff.
Yes.
and Personnel.
I'm in the wrong business. And Mr. Turner, I do not mean to be contentious. All I'm saying is that the pie is this big, and it seems to me, and again, this is just my opinion, seems to me that some of the money that is going towards the police department, some of it could go towards better streets, the parks, maybe a narcotic outreach. I mean, there are lots of things that I think that we have to spend money on.
Right.
They cost money, but we don't have that money because, to me, a larger portion of the money is going towards the police department than I think is necessary. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Well, your opinion is known.
Thank you.
To address your sidewalk question,
Yes.
we do have a program. There is no budget set for that program. But our program right now is, if somebody is interested in getting their sidewalks replaced, the city will pay for the concrete, and we will remove said concrete if they pay for the labor.
That's fantastic.
We've been doing that. I can't remember what the number is, but we have worked with several local residents, your brother-in-law and sister. We just worked with them. There's several other people we've worked with.
That's great.
And that program has actually been out there. That's why there's no budget set.
Cool.
Because,
I wasn't aware of that program.
yes. But also, as far as your comment about our sidewalks look like Beirut, they're bad, but they're not Beirut bad. I've been in Chicago over the weekend for 4 days, and I was in Vandalia, Illinois before that.
That was an exaggeration. That was an exaggeration.
Yes. Everybody's sidewalks everywhere are horrible. I walk down Michigan Avenue in Chicago, and they're no different than what Market Street looks like. So,
No, but it's great to have this program.
yes, Mike?
As far as the program goes, that form is on our city's website under
Great.
forms. It says sidewalk reimbursement program.
Gotcha.
Yep.
That's great.
So-
And I assume the labor, you also, all the equipment would be on our side. You guys pay for the concrete.
We'll reimburse for the concrete. The homeowner or the person doing it
Right.
pays for the labor.
Yep.
Gotcha. That's great.
So,
Great.
and we have went after several grants that would be separate from that, that would pay for everything, but we've not been blessed with getting those grants
No, that's
as
great.
to this
That
point.
Let's get us involved
Yep,
in the partnership. That's great.
yep.
Thank you.
So, okay. Hopefully we answered all your questions.
That's great.
All right,
Thank you so much.
thank you. All right, to reports and communications. I'd like to thank the Governor's Office and DCEO on accepting the Federal American Rescue Plan Act money. The totals did change from the original estimate from the federal government's website. They did base it off of the new census information. So we went from 860 some odd thousand to $951,745.41. We'll be submitting for these funds in the next few days, releasing to the public on how we're going to spend it at the next council meeting. We will get 2 payments. The first payment will be late August, early September for $475,000 and some change, and then next June we will get the same. Where we can use this money, it looks to be about 13 or 14 different areas, and so we will be looking to work with local businesses and the public on helping out where we can out there, and then some infrastructure projects. After the last council meeting 2 weeks ago, the Parks Advisory Board met. I presented to them a picture of the renovations of Kittyland at the city park. This will be a joint effort between the Rotary Club of Mount Carmel. They've committed $6,500, and the city had already received $2,500 for a project in the park. And then I've also just recently, as of last week, I believe, we received $5,000 in a donation for this project. So we currently have $14,000 for the project. The equipment itself is $18,257. That's what the price was negotiated down to from over almost $31,000. Plus there's some freight. And so what I'm asking the council for this evening is approval to move forward with either trying to raise money through grants or donations for this to get it done later this year, late fall, October, November timeframe. There is a 10 to 12 week lead time on the equipment, and I think we'd be taking out all the equipment that's in Kittyland right now, making Kittyland a little bit bigger, fencing it in, putting additional entry into Kittyland on the west side of it. And then basically this is the playground equipment that we are proposing to put in out there. The age appropriateness for this is age 2 to 8. So, anyways, do I need to do a motion on that, or just an approval? I just an approval.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at all the money that's been invested into our park privately in the
Yes.
last 2 years from the golf course, pickleball, the basketball courts, the new shelter house, the bathroom. I mean, the city's invested in that, but a very minimal amount of the total
Yes.
dollars, and there's been hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars put into that from the community. This would be kind of a nice thing to finish it up with and set it off.
I think it's awesome
So yes, I'm in favor.
how giving our community is, because I mean, like Commissioner Eichmeyer, if you look at the grand scheme of everything, there's almost $700,000 worth of, work that's been done in our parks that's been donated through the public or through grants. So
Probably more than that.
it's a wonderful thing. Yeah, probably more than that. But I wasn't counting the golf course. I was just counting pickleball and what the Rotary has done.
Yeah,
So
it's a big investment into our park system right now.
is that good with you?
Yep.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. Commissioner Meeks is absent, so Commissioner Eichmeyer.
Thank you, Mayor. Past 2 weeks, we've had receipts of $278,206, expenditures of $90,954, bank balances in all general fund shows 1.9 million, which is a good spot to be right now. Obviously, we're about 3 months into the fiscal year, or through 3 months, and we've collected $877,568 of our budget for the year, which is right at 30%. And the past money that's come in, sales tax has been strong again, 101,000, state income tax 96,000, utility tax 8 to state use tax 22,000, and replacement tax of 43,000. Other than that, really the only thing we had in the we had some fines and some miscellaneous. So, but overall, we're trending pretty much where we had budgeted on revenue for the general fund, and in fair shape at the moment. So, End of my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Eichmeyer. Commissioner Dolger absent. Commissioner Zimmerman.
Thank you, Mayor. The fire department did their bi-monthly meeting 2 weeks ago, and they'll have another meeting tonight. They are doing testing of the hoses, which is done periodically, to make sure there's no hoses or any leaks or anything to that effect, so that when they do address a fire, that they have proper working equipment. Within the last 2 weeks, they've had 8 runs. Also, one of those included a house fire. The house luckily was not a total loss, and that it was just contained to one area. The garbage and recycling is also going as scheduled, as well as the mosquito spraying is continuing. End of my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Zimmerman. Mr. Turner.
All right, I have a few things to bring up. Number one was ordinance 2050. I talked to Dr. Blyer with the school district. He's replacing a lot of the signs around the schools, and I'm helping him with that. One of the signs that was brought up is a stop sign that's located at 2nd and Pear Street for the northbound lane. It's a pole in the center of the road. It's been hit multiple times, similar to that at CVS pole. You know, it's been over, it's been hit, a lot of damage. Ordinance 2050 proposes that we remove that stop sign completely to get the obstruction out of the roadway, and then replace it with a stop sign with the eastbound going towards the school at 2nd and Pear. So basically, we're eliminating that traffic hazard, and individuals have to stop at 2nd and Pear. I've talked to Chief McWilliams. That's probably the easiest way for us to go, but, you know, it's gonna continuously get hit, and luckily, no one's been hurt. So that's basically, we don't need to vote on it or anything tonight. It's just a first reading, and then we'll bring it up at the next council. So
Are we concerned about obstructions for the new stop sign being cars parked in that area?
there's a no parking
I think-
sign there.
Is there?
I think that there
Okay.
should be okay, and there could be a potential issue, but, I feel like it's probably gonna work. I think that it would
Yeah.
be the most beneficial route to go, personally. The only time it might be issue is when, school is letting out, but we already have an issue up there anyway, which
Yeah.
requires an officer to be there basically every day after school to make sure the traffic's going through, so it's just maybe at worst more of the same.
Okay.
So that won't back traffic up down Second Street by having the stop sign on Second compared to the Pear Street?
I think it'll work.
Okay.
I think it'll work. I think it'll work better than what we have now.
Okay,
I say they pull up right now and they block
right.
anyway, so
It
it's a no-win up there.
Basically.
And we looked at making it a one-way, but that's sending a lot of traffic down First Street, and I don't
Yeah.
think those homes would appreciate that, nor, I don't think the road really, or they'd shoot down an alley. And I just think this is the easiest route to take that's
Okay, sounds
least
good.
amount of impact on the community. Then we have 2 appointments that need to be made. The first appointment would be Terry McGuire as a citizen at large for the Fire Pension Board. The fire, they vote, and it'd be for a 1-year term beginning August 1st. They move around, the fire department does every year, and somehow he just wasn't selected a few months ago when we did that, so that needs to be done
Okay.
today. So I need a motion to approve him as the citizen at large.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pose the same sign. All right, so moved.
And I've got one more. Along the same line, I was not appointed as a TIF administrator, replacing Rudy Witzman. We need to do that, so I'll have access to the TIF funds and work with the city in dispersing those funds.
And the TIF attorneys. Okay.
Yes.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pose the same sign.
And that's all I have for my report.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Turner. Mr. Walter?
No report.
Mr. Gidcombe?
I have a couple of things. The water tower at Risley had an issue with the mixer. It went out. This was under warranty for the material, the mixer. But the labor, we're gonna have to contract out. That was not part of the warranty on that. It was supposed to be in yesterday. Water sewer maintenance has been dealing with making sure the water pressures are good enough. So that hopefully, and then by the end of this week, it'll all be up and running, and we'll get back to the normal pressures north of town. Another issue, I sent out an email to the council about vacating a portion of an alley between 1013 and 1015 North Market. I originally sent this out, we had a request from the homeowners back in April. I sent that out then, so I resent it out today. We've had a new council member, so she didn't receive the original one. At the next council meeting, I'm gonna present an ordinance to vacate that. If you guys are in agreement, to let me go ahead and get that written up.
Sounds good.
Okay. End of my report.
All right, thank you, Mr. Gidcombe. Chief McWilliams?
The only thing that I would offer, it's already been touched on, is that we did solve a rash of burglaries, probably had 16+ man-hours over the course of, well, 2 days essentially, trying to take care of that on top of dealing with the day-to-day stuff that we deal with. And just to clarify, Mr. Clancy, we have 9 patrolmen, they work 2 on, or we work 2 on at a time. So they work on 4, off 2. There's always 2 officers on at any given time. I personally, and so is Mr. Turner, actually helped cover shifts at times to alleviate issues we have between vacations, sick time. I've got 1 officer that's on leave for the next 2 weeks for military training. In the past, we've had upwards of 2 or 3 sometimes people on military duty. So I really don't feel personally that we're overstaffed. We're probably at minimum staffing at best. And anytime, I think I've made it known to you that I will talk to you anytime. If there's ever anything that you want explained to you better so you can understand it, I'd be happy to help you, talk to you, listen to what you have to say. But that's basically how we operate. And I think if you compare other, as the mayor said, you're probably gonna find that we're at least operating at minimum to what other towns our size, if not them operating with more officers. And, one reason why I think that you probably wonder if we're overpopulated with police is simply, you reside a block from the police department, you're on the main road, they drive that road repeatedly because they basically have to get to the office. So, at times it's gonna seem like, why do I keep seeing, well, it's because they're getting called back to the office for phone calls. We have walk-in complaints probably hourly at times, depending on the time of day. So there is a lot of traffic back and forth. Anyway, so that's all I have.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Yep, thank you. Chief Smith?
The only thing I really have is for ag days, make sure you keep 4 to 5 feet of clearance around fire hydrants, and we'll keep 10-foot lane down through the center in case we do have an incident uptown or something that we can get through there. So other than that, that's about it.
All right, thank you, Chief Smith. Mr. Dallas, do you have anything this evening? All right.
Oh, I'd like to make a quick comment that we did, I did hear later last week that, I believe the 9th, which was a week ago, or 2 weeks ago today, that they had accepted they were going to award
Okay.
our Oak District project. So I'm assuming that the contractor's been contacted, he's getting his bonds put together, and that's all happening at the Effingham level.
Awesome. Project that's well on its way, so that's great. Thank you. All right, New business, consent agenda. Does anybody have any questions? We're just paying bills tonight, so do I have a motion?
I'll make it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right. All right, so do we have anything else that we need to address tonight? All right, so we will adjourn and go into liquor control.
Yeah, you can, it doesn't. We are still recording.
Oh, no, we're gonna, the reason I didn't is because the fire department has a policy that was established in